Well, good morning, friends, subscribers, internet strangers. What's up? So I come to you this morning with a serious topic, so stay tuned. Okay, so how many of us out there are guilty of, you get so many emails from eBay and Amazon that it's hard to keep up with them? I'm going to spend a few more minutes this morning setting up my Excel, more rules to filter out messages so that I see the important messages. So I had two important messages come through from one from each platform. So I just want to discuss the ramifications of each one and what happens if you miss them. The Amazon one, not much happens if you miss it. You just wonder, why am I not getting any sales? So let's start there first. Amazon. I get a message this morning, and actually someone on Instagram told me about it as well. So I looked at my email folder, and this morning, overnight last night, there's a message from Amazon saying, we have records stating you have inventory in Memphis number 1. That's the warehouse. There was a fire at Memphis number 1. They didn't give me any details about how big the fire was. They're still trying to, any shipments, which I have shipments on the way, are being rerouted to other warehouses. Their UPS is probably scrambling this morning to try to, send stuff away from that warehouse. But there's been a fire. It happened in, I think one of the ones in New Jersey caught on fire. I don't know, in November. So basically, they let you know that any inventory. Sorry, I got stuck. Any inventory in that warehouse is been marked as inactive, unable to sell, because they're going to have to physically inspect all inventory in that warehouse and what condition it's in. And if it is damaged, not sellable anymore, you will be reimbursed according to FBA policies, which who knows how they come up with a price, but they will. And then they'll let you know any of your inventory is. And if your inventory is sellable, it will be transferred out and then again will be available for sale once it hits another warehouse. So, you would be thinking, maybe you're looking at your sales, maybe you're looking at your back order stuff, and you're thinking, I'm getting no traction, or I'm getting, I thought I had some of these for sale, I'm not on the listing anymore. Well, because you missed the email talking about any of your inventory that's in Memphis number 1, you would not understand that. Because some items sell on back order. That's not a big deal. A lot of customers, Amazon does a decent job of telling, hey, it'll be available at this time. And so, the customer can decide, if your price and the time is good enough, they can still buy it from you, no problem. I've sold plenty of stuff, especially Q4. You sell a lot of stuff on back order because, as long as that date gets to them for Christmas, they're not as concerned about the date as they're concerned about getting the product. And so a lot of that can still happen. So if you send inventory to Memphis number 1, it is I believe that's a transitional warehouse. It's one that you ship it in and then it immediately ships out to other places. So check your email, see if you've got anything that's been affected. Alright, number 2, the eBay email was a little more serious, even though there was nothing. I get an email saying that that a warning. I've been warned about transactions outside of eBay, and I'm like, I don't like selling face-to-face people. I don't do a lot of local sales. I like eBay and Amazon because I can put it in a box and send it on. That's your extent of your contact with a lot of people, a lot of buyers. I've had a lot of issues where, they want to, once you've made an agreement with price, they want to treat it like a used car and find as many things as can wrong with it to make you lower your price, once you're in person. I just don't like dealing with that kind of stuff. So I choose to sell online for a reason. And so I get the email last night. I was gonna hang out with Shane, and I was hot. I was mad. I'm like, let me just go to bed. I'll get up in the morning and I'll contact eBay when I'm not angry. And because when you're accused of doing something that you're not guilty of, it's infuriating, to say the least. I know it's happened to each one of you guys watching this. I'm sure in your life, I'm sure that's happened. So it says a warning for I guess it was exchanging contact information, which that's not me. So I call, and the lady at eBay, the customer service, she was exceptionally nice. And she starts looking at it, and she said, well, I've got good news, David. This was just to let you know something happened. The warning was, and just to kind of get you to go back over the rules. There's been no restrictions on your account. There's been no mark on your account. No anything. And she started looking at it, and she said, I see what happened now, because she started looking at the records, and she said, a customer gave you contact information through messages, and their system at some point picked it up. The item ended, it didn't sell. I've still got it over there. I'll relist it. But once something like that happens with an item, they delete it out of your system. So I couldn't find the item in the system. I couldn't find any emails. I couldn't find anything. So last night I was like, oh my God, what the heck are they doing? So she went on to explain that because I did nothing wrong, and my immediate response to that person was, I do everything through eBay. If you want to make an offer, it'll go through eBay. And so she goes on to say that the person that's actually in trouble is the buyer. The buyer should have known the rules, and the buyer's buying privileges were removed for a certain amount of time. I don't know how long. She didn't say, but she just said that they were the ones that were really in trouble. They faced a suspension from buying on eBay because they broke the rules giving out personal information. And then she went back over the information about when you can exchange personal information. And I believe Pete Craigslist Hunter had the same issue when he was trying to sell something, that someone wanted to come inspect an item. You can go back and look at some of his videos. He did a very good job documenting that situation. But the only time you can exchange information is after the transaction has been completed. They can tell you, hey, I'd like to pick this up local or do whatever, but you can't get an address, a phone number, a email, nothing until after they've paid, so that eBay knows they got their fees. And you can look at this at eBay side as well. They need to do everything they can do, because it'd be very easy for a lot of people to go, well, heck, that's just one item, or that's just whatever. I'm gonna make all the money and cut the whatever it is, 15%, 17% out, eBay out. After you've used all their services, the buyer has found you through their system, and it wouldn't have been, sale would have been possible without them. Then you cut them out of it. I can understand where they'd have some specific strict rules about that, and I'm sure you can understand as well. So I called. Everything's fine. Nothing on my account. The basic email is, it looks more. She said it looks more frightening than it is. It's basically to tell the party who was not the offender, hey, this has happened. Be careful. Please refresh yourself with the rules so that you understand moving forward in the future if this happens. So, and I asked her, I'm like, so instead of just replying back, hey, I don't do anything outside of eBay or whatever, I should have reported that email immediately. And she said absolutely. Doing something like that is not tattling. It's not turning someone in. You got to look at it from the other way. It's covering yourself. How does it look in the situation? Because they don't know whether the item sold or not. They just saw that the item ended. And that person provided email or contact. I can't even remember what kind of contact they provided. But you want to, if something happens like that, you want to immediately say, eBay, I got this. It's against your policies. I understand it. I'm not in it. I didn't ask for it. And please take it. Please do something about this. And so they can notate your account. They can do whatever. So if it ever comes back and says, like one of the computer bots ever pick it up or whatever, there'll be something in there saying, this seller was not involved. This seller self-reported. This seller said, that they didn't violate any rules, and they understand the rules. So this morning I just want to, this is kind of a different kind of video. Sometimes things happen, and it's weird that I got an email on both systems that were very good, because I had like 80 emails from eBay over the last day and a half, and they were all items ending, watches, because Joni is very active. My wife is very active buying stuff on eBay. She likes buying Vera Bradley and several other products on eBay, because you can get a very good price, and looking for items that are discontinued. She likes older patterns. And so eBay is a very good platform for that kind of stuff. And so, you get a ton of emails, and So it'd be very easy to miss that one in there. So just learn to use filters with your email. That's my advice. Is I use Excel, Microsoft Excel, and it has a very good, but I'm sure most email suites will let you do filters. You know, set them up where if it contains this amount, this email goes here. And so all that you're left in your main email account is the important emails. And I've got a couple more. Amazon, I've got that. There was only 12 emails on the Amazon account, so I saw that one immediately. That was pretty easy. Fire. So I just need a couple more to tweak that to make that was very good. So I know a lot of new sellers, a lot of new sellers and people think about doing this. Watch my channel, and I appreciate it, all of you guys. I just wanted to show you that, you know, even somebody who's been selling on eBay since 2000 still gets an email saying, you know, hey, there's been a violation. And through eBay is 99% of the time they've got your back. There'll be some times, you know, you'll hear the worst case scenarios. You'll hear where these platforms have had to make a decision and didn't go your way or didn't go someone's way, and they're just screaming from the rooftop, oh my God, I've been cheated. It happens every now and then. You know, I got a bad return a little while ago. You know, eBay eventually paid that return out to me. It made me whole. So if you just work with them and let them know what happens, each one of these platforms, you know, you can get to someone who can make a decision that, you know, most of the time makes it right. Are you going to lose money every now and then? Is it going to go against you every now and then? Absolutely. It just will. And it's just a fact of life, fact of business. Not everything goes according to plan, but take this as a business. Be very mature in your responses. Understand it's not the end of the world, and it's a lesson. You know, most of the time this lesson didn't cost me anything to be even more proactive in my diligence of looking at these emails. And so I will be proactive and say, hey, I'm even going to keep an eye out even better so that I can understand what's going on with my accounts, and nothing be no surprises, no anything, and no, well, we told you. And you miss it because emails are just so, you get so many emails. And I recommend, I have an email for Amazon, an email for eBay. Don't use one inbox. Gmail, you can get as many free emails as you want. I think I've got like 7 Gmail accounts. And just set up one for eBay, set up one for Amazon, or for whatever platforms you sell on. And when you make that kind of division, it makes it easier to find. Alright, hope you guys enjoy your weekend. I know a lot of people, the big storm coming, a lot of people got snowed, so it's a great time to list, or pack up FBA shipments. I'm curious to see when I turn mine on in a minute what warehouse I go to. I know it's not going to Memphis 1 today. So if you're involved with Memphis 1, check your inventory. Hey, like, comment, subscribe, and share. I appreciate it, and roll tide.